We've got a top-down factory game, we've got a first-person factory game, and now we've got a side-scrolling factory game with Sandustry, which is actually doing some pretty cool and new things. This is not a Factorio-like knockoff. There's some really smart things going on with this game, and perhaps something a little darker and destructive. The moment I started playing Sandustry, I knew this was going to be something special. In fact, I almost didn't do this video or write the script for this video since I was so hooked on playing the game. In Sandustry, you are set out to a procedurally generated planet surface to extract as much gold as you can from all manner of materials. The gold must flow. I have to admit, I didn't pay much attention to the story. It's a very narrative light game. There is a story and a reason why you are on this planet, and apparently some extinct advanced civilization in which you will discover some remnant mysterious things. More on that later. Sandustry doesn't waste time in getting you into the thick of action. It begins with extracting gold from sand, which needs to be wet, so you dig up sand from a pool of water or you place them in water to create wet sand and use these shakers to get the gold in them. On the surface it may seem simple, but dig deeper and things eventually get pretty darn complex. I'll get to the digging deeper part a little later in the video because there's a lot to say about that. The gold you collect in the collector is used to unlock new tech for you to use in your machines. So there's a real incentive to just hoard gold, and you can be picky about what you want to unlock. Maybe not all that is on this tech tree is important to you. I definitely put more emphasis on unlocking new tech to extract gold from new forms of resources, and this is the beauty of the game. In Sandustry, there is a pretty neat simulation of physics on even a tiny pixel level, which means there is different weight to different elements, like gold is heavier and will sink to the bottom of a pile of other elements. There is this cool aspect of using evaporation and condensation to get water to flow into your pool of water, which you need to replenish over time since wet sand does use up water. So over here I can heat up the water in this contraption, turning it into steam, which goes up into the sky, that turns into a cloud and then drops rainwater down to the world. I mean, amazing level of detail here. There is some pretty cool sciencey stuff in Sandustry, like in this process here, I can turn the flower petals, I think they are called florin, to dry flower petals by using steam, then burning the dry flower petals to produce gas, which is then condensed using this contraption I built with snow to cool down and condense it into a liquid. It also extracts more gold for you. I really love this because it puts a lot of emphasis on how you build things to manipulate the elements, because you need to trap gas, of course, so you use the basic foundations to make something that will interact with these elements correctly. The game doesn't really penalize you for getting things wrong though, since building stuff doesn't cost anything. You can build as many conveyor belts or pipes and whatnot to your heart's content. A Sandustry really does allow players to try new creative solutions while understanding the workings of physics in the game. And I think this physics system distinguishes Sandustry from other factory games. But Sandustry is also taking a lot of inspiration from another side-scrolling hit game, Terraria. Because in Sandustry there is a story that unravels as you explore the planet. Yes, it's a great exploration game as well as a factory game. As you dig deeper, you will uncover the mysteries of the previous advanced civilization on this planet. You will find weird structures and technologies that may be useful in the future for you. In fact, as I explored deeper into the planet, I found artifacts that unlocked new improvements to the character I'm playing in this game. And the neat thing about getting to these artifacts, there is almost this mini puzzle like game with physics you need to figure out to get to these artifacts. Sandustry just has this amazing way of slowly unraveling more and more weird and unique stuff from game mechanics, the elements of the world, and even the story of this world and its precursor civilization. And I don't think I've discovered everything about the game. It's a game where the developer doesn't explain things to you. You will need to see how things work and experiment with the tools you have to figure things out. One thing that stumped me was water. Yes, the natural wonder, which is the elixir of life. The thing about water is that it's a natural element that is finite. I actually ran out of water extracting gold from wet sand and building a plantation of flowers from wet seed. So I needed to figure out how to get to a new source of water. There is that steam contraption thing which worked until it ran out of natural water. So I trekked all the way to the western edge of the map to find snow-capped mountains. I used my flamethrower to melt the ice from the mountains and used pipes to bring new water to my reservoir. Yes, I needed to literally do some pretty harmful stuff to this planet, which led me to think, so this whole gold mining operation thing, am I going to destroy this planet? Where is this going? Is there a global warming threat that I just ramped up as I melted the glaciers here for the purpose of extracting as much gold as I could from this planet? Are we supposed to be the villains here? These are questions that perhaps I shall find answers to as I unravel more of the planet's secrets. Maybe. I'm just skimming the surface here, and there is just so much more to discover in Sandustry. This is a game that is probably going to gobble up a large chunk of my life for sure. I think the mix between a very unique factory game and Terraria is a winning formula for Sandustry. And mind you, there is no building that you build in Sandustry. What I mean is, Sandustry is a game where you construct the machines within the systems. These contraptions I talk about, you will have to build these structures using the tools and foundations you have with the technology unlocked. This is a pretty big difference from other factory games. It's a kind of an OCD sort of game. You know, if you're the type. I think a lot of people are going to be hooked to Sandustry. It's currently coming out in early access, and this is early access, which means there are bugs and unfinished things. So keep that in mind. There is a demo which you can try out. I think it should still be up with the game out in early access. It's got overwhelmingly positive response. Anyway, I want to know your thoughts. Have you tried the game or the demo? What have you discovered in Sandustry that you thought was cool? Share in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Until next time, farewell, friends. I've now got to go back to playing the game. Bye bye.